preparing for BJJ, are you using a chainsaw or are you using an axe? We're going to talk about how your preparation is making your job easier or damn harder. And we don't realize this because, look, we know the saying, if all you've got is a hammer, everything is a nail.
Yep.
We're going to extend this analogy. If you've only got an axe, that's the only way you know how to cut down a tree, right?
I mean, and let's be honest, an axe, nicely sharpened blade, not a terrible tool for dispatching wood.
No. But when you see someone with a chainsaw,
Brother.
Dude, it's immaculate.
Pales in comparison to a well-oiled chainsaw with fresh batteries.
Oh, my God.
Topped up with diesel, however you like to run it.
However you want to just be destroying the environment, we condone it. We're Australian. No, but think this. The reason why I brought this up is there was a great analogy is a quote has been misappropriated many times. It said, if you've been given, a certain amount of time, 4 hours to cut down a tree, and this person said, well, if you give me 4 hours, I will spend 3 hours sharpening my axe.
Abraham Lincoln said that.
Abraham Lincoln. Well, that's the attribution.
Give me 4 hours to chop down a tree and I'll spend the first 3 sharpening the axe.
Exactly, right?
The founding forefather of the great nation.
That's it, right? And so...
Shout out to the US
I actually don't know if he ever spent much time cutting down trees.
It probably wasn't even him that said that.
But the analogy sticks, right? And I'm talking about the jiu-jitsu class being your tree. That's your job.
Okay.
That's the thing you're trying to get done. Or it could be a workout.
Chop all these down.
Yeah, chop them. And so that's the thing.
Kani Basami on every motherfucker in the room.
We've all got the job to do. Now, if you're 21 years old and you're full of energy and whatever, you got an axe. You actually want to cut down trees with an axe.
Yeah.
You're like, this is a workout.
Yeah.
I love this shit.
Yeah.
But if you're 35 and a bit
45,
broken, you're like,
55.
I still got this tree to cut down.
Yeah.
Fucking give me a chainsaw, mate. And really, this is dependent on preparation. Now, the axe, stay with the analogy. Joe knows that I'm going a bit far left with the analogy, but the axe is really a lack of preparation. That's just something you got, right? But if you...
Why? What's wrong with the axe?
For example, you can just keep using the axe, but it's going to blunt over time. True of the chainsaw too. But it is not a technological development. It is a lack of preparation.
It's a manual hand tool.
Yeah, and you can do things that way. I'm not saying that is wrong, but there is a better way, my friends. Being better prepared, whether it be hydrated, brought your kit, did your stretches, did your lifts, did everything right, so you show up to class better prepared, you are the chainsaw.
Right.
You are the axe.
Yeah.
Right? Now, we know plenty of people out there, they're a blunt sledgehammer trying to cut down a tree.
Yeah.
You're just running your head against the wall. That's not the most effective way to cut down a tree.
You probably up the tree a little bit.
You do.
You do some damage to the timber.
Yeah, but it's
getting down's going to be hard.
Did you actually do the job?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I actually noticed this more recently with my parents. My parents are getting older. They need more help doing shit. They're pretty capable, but they're not as strong. They're not as robust. And so therefore, they need more technology to do the same shit. Mm-hmm. And what we know about jiu-jitsu is when you do get older and you get further along in the journey, you need to do more of a warm-up just to be normal. You got to do way more work just to hold the standard.
Yeah.
When you're younger, you just get away with shit, right?
Yeah. When you're younger, if you encounter an obstacle, you just go harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really what the axe represents.
Yeah.
Is a lack of preparation, but maximum energy. But if you improve your preparation, whether we consider the tree to be a workout, a meeting, your class at jiu-jitsu, when you are better prepared, you're bringing the chainsaw. Now, obviously, a chainsaw, it could have a blunt blade, an unoiled blade. You might be low on battery or low on petrol, right? So there's also some preparation that goes along with maintaining you being a chainsaw or using a chainsaw, so to speak. But that person who's prepared gets through the job so much easier.
It's largely a more efficient tool.
It's less energy. And that's what I'm trying to lead to here, that for folks out there who maybe don't have the physical bandwidth or youth, it's much better for you to be cutting down a tree with a chainsaw than an axe. Can you elaborate? Can you go with this analogy with me, Joe?
Yeah, no, I'm right there.
You're in the pocket.
I'm one could make the argument that an axe is a great tool, and that if you keep the blade sharp and you keep the handle, oiled and it's in good shape, it's going to be a very efficient axe, an effective axe. But it's kind of like when you hear the stories of like, I don't know, like Christopher Columbus and the Spaniards or whatever, and they bring in rifles to, fire against the Mayans or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it was the Mayans, but the people of Peru at the time,
Sure.
forgive me for not being up on it. But, one
Historical inaccuracies may vary.
one army's got firearms, gunpowder and
Rocks.
bullets, and the other arm's got like spears and, and axes and
Arrows,
shit.
yeah.
And it's just like, it's a huge efficiency increase if you got a gun.
Yeah.
In that scenario. And so, yeah, like, I get it. We did this, right? Like whole 20s and early 30s just went hard.
Yeah.
And it's just like, just go harder. And like if the obstacle comes, like, i.e. someone defends the thing you're trying to do or someone's giving you a hard time, well, go harder, go harder, go harder. And it does work for a certain period of time. But if you keep trying to do that, you do invariably end up getting wrecked.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, whether you just start losing all the time or your game doesn't work or you get injured or, you're not having a good time, whatever. So, yes, looking for the upgrade in efficiency is kind of a necessity at that certain point.
Adapting.
Yeah, it is.
And so, look, the reason why I wanted to bring this analogy is because Joe here loves a bit of woodwork. He loves that craftsmanship.
I really do.
And I'm actually a huge fan too. I haven't done anything recently, but woodwork was my favorite subject in high school actually. And much to my father's credit, he taught me a bunch about making joints and all this stuff by hand, not necessarily using a machine, but like using a chisel and all these things. And don't get me wrong, there is a skill and an art to creating a dovetail joint with a chisel. And there is a skill to maintaining a tool in a really nice way. But when you've got no time, when you haven't got, if that's not your sole purpose in life, to be a carpenter or an artisan, you don't live in Okinawa and you're just trying to build like these
You've been
nails.
following those Japanese Instagram carpentry accounts.
Yeah,
too,
without
huh?
the nails and the special locking systems
Oh,
and
yeah,
shit. It's incredible, right? And so it might take you 10 years to build a house when you haven't got 10 years and you got to just fix the door and feed the kids and walk the dog and you got to do that shit. You need the right tool for the job appropriate to where you're at. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about busy people with busy lives who are trying to get it done. So if you think that you've got a number of trees that you need to chop down in your week, let's save you some time. Let's save you some effort. Let's get you prepared so that you've got the chainsaw approach, not the kind of axe approach.
Yeah, and I think on this, I'll indulge myself in the analogy with you.
Please do.
The like bandwidth, right? The thing that you have when you're younger is that you have a lot of bandwidth for training and shit because you don't really have a lot going on.
No responsibilities.
Maybe you're really busy at university or maybe you're working and that's kind of busy.
You have a bunch of girlfriends.
Yeah, right. You got to date a bunch, but you don't, and you only realize this once you get older, you're like, whoa, I actually had a lot of sort of time and energy on my hands. And so when you're a bit older, you have less bandwidth for this shit. It's about then being more selective about where you allocate the bandwidth, right? And so in that way, you could, if we go like Christopher Nolan Inception level on this analogy,
Go deeper
right?
and deeper.
So let's say that you are wielding a chisel and a chainsaw, right, throughout the week for various tasks.
Yeah.
And let's say that the chisel represents the precision and the accuracy and the artisanality of jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
Right? It's this passion of yours, this thing that you love.
Sure.
You love the technical aspect of it, the little details, no grip, invert the hand, thumb in, elbow tight, like you're like, that's what I needed to hear. That's the chisel work.
Sure.
Now, you can't use the chisel for everything.
No.
You got to use the chainsaw for all the other bullshit.
Right tool for the right job.
So that it allows you to enjoy the chisel for that thing that you love.
True.
Right? And so if you're showing up, like, you know what I mean? Like if you're showing up trying to be that hyper, perfectionist on everything, you're not going to succeed on any of it.
Yeah.
So there is also this balancing act of like accepting and adopting efficiency where it is appropriate and where it doesn't matter as much to you, so that you can have the precision and the beauty and the accuracy for the things that really matter.
You're trying to get stronger for jiu-jitsu and you're not sure how. We've got the thing for you. It's the Bulletproof for BJJ app. Now, the cool thing about the app is we update the programs. That's right. And we've got some new programs dropping real soon, and we want to get you in there. The great thing is you get a 14-day free trial. So you can get in there, play around, have a feel. And here's the deal. If you don't like it, we have a 100% money back guarantee. So you have nothing to lose. Get on the free trial. Go to the App Store or the Play Store, download the app, take the 14-day free trial, and we will see you in there. And look, I don't disagree in any way. I would just go like an adjacency to that to say that the chainsaw represents effectiveness, right? So it's not that you have to use a chainsaw. I know. I know you just wanted to bring in a woodworking analogy. It's fine. I accept. But yeah, look, we're looking at you being effective. It doesn't matter, young or old. It doesn't matter where you are in the game. You're a new white belt or you're a seasoned black belt. If you can do the same job in less time with less effort, I believe that is the way to go. And really, when we look at what success represents, it's different for everyone. It is preparation meets opportunity. Your class, your workout, that meeting, whatever it is, that consultation, that's the opportunity. How well prepared you are really dictates the success of the outcome.
Yeah.
And so we really want to make sure that whatever you decide to do, you'll bring in your best prep so that you can just get the most out of it. And that's what we're trying to do.
So just quickly, can you, on that chainsaw equaling efficiency, what are...
Efficiency/effectiveness.
Effectiveness. What are the things that we can control within our own week that represent that? Like, what are the things that are going to help me to be the chainsaw?
So definitely... It does require, and this is where most people will just stay with the axe because it's what they know, which is they don't have to make any time. Like the biggest thing about preparation is it does cost you a bit of time, but it gets you a better outcome. Whether that's me spending an extra half an hour writing my notes for this podcast, or it's me filling up my drink bottle, putting my soda in there and putting my bag together the night before, like my mum told me to do, like because my mum was sick of like fucking get me ready for school, me just like sleeping. She would make me get my clothes out the night before.
Yeah.
She'd make me pack my bag because she didn't want to have to deal with that at 7 a.m, right? But that takes a bit of time. So even though this seems like it's a false economy, you not taking 15 minutes to be more prepared the day before will cost you less good results the next day. So in the name of us saving time, we get less good results. Preparation looks like taking a little bit of extra time, whether it be to do a workout, drink some more water, bring the drink bottle. It can represent itself in a lot of different ways. But even if you think about yourself, Joe, and this is where I think we can wrap it up nicely. Like if you're going hunting, right? Because it's speak to me. He's just beating his chest on this one. It's a lot of prep because you're out in the wild. Like and I'm not someone who's been hunting other than watching like a ton of like Cameron Haynes videos, just
basically there with the big guy.
I am.
Yeah.
Basically, I know what it is. There's so much preparation to make it successful because the opportunity is fleeting, right? To be able to catch a thing.
Yeah.
And so I guess whatever you're trying to do and enjoy, because I don't think any of us really enjoy sucking at a thing, and that's kind of inevitable, but bringing that prep maximizes the opportunity for the good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we all feel that, like when you're well prepped for training and you get there and you weren't hustling because you were running 10 minutes late and you're hydrated and you ate some shit a couple of hours ago and you're feeling good and all that, you're like, you appreciate that. And it shows in the effectiveness of your performance in that session.
Yeah, and you can feel good about it.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like a self-esteem thing in the same way when you make the right choice on your diet or when you
go to bed early.
Yeah,
you're like, you don't have that. Like when you go to bed late, you wake up and you're like, I'm an idiot.
What am I doing?
I'm an idiot.
Why did I?
And then you do it again and you do it again.
Oh God, big booty Latina's got me again. why am I stuck? My Instagram.
We are following the same Instagram.
We are. But that's the thing, right? Like, because in the immediate moment, it's like, oh, this is more enjoyable. We don't think about that delayed satisfaction element.
Yeah.
And without getting boring about it, it's just simply when you've had those moments where you felt really good, if you can look back on it, preparation is usually an integral part of that. And you can feel good that you did the right thing by yourself, and this creates a real positive spiral for better preparation and better results.
I love it.
There it is, fam.